Memphis Wrestling is on fire. Join us live. September 20th, Memphis Wrestling returns to New Albany, Mississippi for a huge fundraiser benefiting Ingomar Baseball, featuring the Dirty Bird Brawl. Next Saturday, September 21st, join us at Ghost River Brewing on Main Street for live Memphis Wrestling. All ages welcome. VIP saves $1 off beer all night. Next Monday, September 23rd, WWE Hall of Famer Rock and Roll Express Robert Gibson is coming to Memphis Wrestling. Meet Robert Gibson live at the Mid-South Fair at Landers Center. Saturday, October 5th is our next free watch party at Dave & Buster's. Watch WWE Bad Blood. With us, it's free. Sunday, October 6th is our annual Halloween Spooktacular featuring Danhausen, presented by Kapow Comics. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
Hey guys, I love my Quicksilver rewards card from Capital One, and here's what I want to do. I want to get you to get one. That's right, earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase every day. Plus, if you use my link, I'll get you $200 cash bonus. That's right. Cash bonus from me, BT, because I'm your friend. Capital One. Go to link of all links. Go to my link of all links at stspod.club, right hand corner, and get your Capital One Quicksilver rewards card right now, today. What is in your wallet? Make it Capital One.
This episode is sponsored by Vitality Chiropractic, your trusted partner in wellness right here in Jonesboro and Newport, Arkansas. At Vitality Chiropractic, we believe in the power of natural healing and the importance of a healthy spine for overall well-being. Life can be hectic, and stress can take a toll on our bodies. If you're experiencing back pain, headaches, or just feeling out of alignment, it's time to make a positive change. Step into Vitality Chiropractic, where our experienced and caring team of chiropractors is dedicated to helping you achieve optimal health. We specialize in personalized chiropractic care tailored to meet your unique needs. Call 870-523-2225 to make an appointment today.
Hey, just a quick reminder, subscribe for $5, $7, or $10 at www.patreon.com/Shooting the Shiznit without a G. That's right, Shooting the Shiznit without a G. This episode is also brought to you by SpunkLube.com. Remember, when you're getting funky like a monkey, if you know what I mean, use Spunky. That's right. Go to www.spunklube.com and tell them STS Pod sent you. This episode is also brought to you by Bear. Eat better, live better. These guys are the best meal prep company in Northeast Arkansas. So get 15% off with our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. That's 15% off. Use our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. Trust Bear for your meal prep needs in Northeast Arkansas. Eat better, live better. Bear. We can all help prevent suicide. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, and also prevention and crisis resources for you and your loved ones. Call 1-800-273-8255.
What happens when someone sends you a box of cassettes from the 1990s? You put them on as a podcast. Sit back and take a trip to the past for cassette wrestling news. Stone Cold Steve Austin called this the first ever podcast. These cassettes were mailed every issue to subscribers during the heyday of wrestling fanzines. Jeff Osborne and John Cena sit down and put out an episode of zany, fun, and sometimes serious stuff. Get ready to dive 30 plus years into the past.
Hello once again, CWN listeners, to issue number 35. Got a pretty good action-packed issue with a Christopher Cruz interview. And, we got a lot of things happening going on here in the USWA as well as around the globe pertaining to wrestling. First, I want to start off with a, sad, not so sad note for some of you listeners. John Seaton has been suspended by the Jersey Devil, and he will not be on this show of Cassette Wrestling News, but he will be on next show. So I want to get John on the phone a little bit later. So there's a lot of things going on. When we come back, we'll talk about Lawler, the Snowman, and many others, so stay tuned.
This is Ross Blair of the Mat Review Newsletter, here to make a special offer to all CWN listeners. Just drop me a line at P.O. Box 3357, Simi Valley, California, 93093, mentioning this ad, and I'll send you a free issue. Once again, this is Ross Blair of the Mat Review Newsletter, and you are listening to Cassette Wrestling News. Now back to Jeff Osborne and John Seaton.
This is the illustrious Johnny Stewart, and you're listening to Cassette Wrestling News.
All right, we're back. Last issue, I talked about a run-in I had with Jerry Lawler. It seems that Brian Trammell printed something in Tape Update about me and John being courteous and sending Brian the tape before we aired the Lawler interview on the show. This sort of got Jerry mad, and he took it out on me. I had to talk to him for Chris Cruz and everything. And he wasn't nice at all, believe me. But this is exactly what happened. I went up to him. I said, I talked to Chris Cruz the other night. He said, so? And I go, well, him and Terry Funk are interested in doing the Dallas show down in Texas, announcing. And he goes, well, we already got somebody. We don't need anybody. And went on. He said, why'd you send that tape to Trammell? I go, well, I felt that he had a right to a rebuttal on the same show that you did to clear it up all at the same time. And he goes, well, you guys are all alike, you and all your pissant readers. And he said, next time you talk to Brian Trammell, tell him there's going to be trouble. So that's exactly what happened with me and Lawler. Last week, I tried to talk to him. I said, hey, Jerry, can I talk to you? I want to know why you're so mad. He goes, I'm not mad. I said, well, can I talk to you? And he said, there's nothing to talk about. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll never talk to Jerry Lawler again unless he talks to me first. And that's basically how it is. But I got to tell you, the Snowman Lawler matches have been good brawling. And Leon Spinks was in Evansville, and it was the biggest gate here in the past couple of years. And Leon got, let me go over the result of the main event. The Snowman pinned Lawler with the help of Leon Spinks. Leon Spinks wasn't that hot of a ref, but he did help the Snowman win the world title. And when Leon was walking back to the dressing room, a fan covered him with a glass of beer. We talked about these intoxicated assholes in earlier shows, and he covered Leon with a beer, and Leon looked like he was going to punch this guy. And the guy realized what he did, and he took off running. Of course, any idiot that throws a glass of beer on a former world boxing champion better take off running. Anyway, security dragged this guy down. I apologize to Leon Spinks for what happened and everything, but nonetheless, it still happened. Now let's talk about last night. I was at the Evansville Coliseum once again for the main event, a return match. Referee outside the ring when Lawler took on the Snowman once again. Now Downtown Bruno came out. Gossett's gone. He's history. Downtown Bruno came out and said, "Hey, Lawler, why don't you let me be in your corner for this match?" And Lawler goes, "You guys are all alike." For some reason, he likes using that. He said, "You guys are all alike, and you're all leeches." And Bruno says, "Hey, I don't want any money. I just want to be in your corner for the night." And he goes, No. And he just put down Bruno. So Bruno sat ringside. The match is going pretty good. A lot of stiff rights and lefts by both men. Both men look pretty good, too. And also, Lawler pinned the Snowman, but his feet were on the ropes. The bell had rang, so they restart the match. Lawler pins him again, and his feet were on the ropes. Now, the next time, after two of those where his feet were on the ropes, Lawler gets pinned. His feet were on the ropes, and Downtown Bruno pushes Lawler's feet off the ropes. Now, it seems Lawler has turned face, believe it or not. Lawler has turned good once again, and therefore making the Snowman a bad guy. Now, the reason for this, Lawler, as many of you know now, is starting this anti-drug campaign down in Memphis. And he wants to come off as being the good guy once again, so that explains it. But, I really don't want to say too much on the subject of me and Lawler, or Lawler and Trammell, or whatever. All I know is that I've lost all respect for Jerry Lawler, and that's all I have to say about it. Tried to interview a couple of other wrestlers, but they denied me the right because they either don't like the sheets or something like that. So I want everybody to send in their opinions of the sheets. And, everybody's saying, well, you hurt the business. You're making money off our money. Well, most of the sheet writers aren't making money unless you're Meltzer. David Meltzer is the only guy making money off this. So send in your opinions, why the sheets help the industry or why they hurt. I think we're trying to help, and I'll give these wrestlers copies of the show so you can be heard by some of the wrestlers. Also, I'm making some efforts to get Terry Funk on the show. It looks pretty good right now, and also I'm trying for Cactus Jack here, and I'm going to be granted an interview this Sunday by the Missouri Tiger, Jeff Gaylord. I talked to him the other night. He said he has had numerous offers from the NWA, although he's turned every one of them down because he feels they're not doing anything right now. I didn't really get into it with him, but I talked about his past career and everything, and we should have an interview next tape with Jeff Gaylord. While I was talking to Chris Cruz the other night, I don't know if he wants me to say this on the air or not, but I'm going to take a chance and wish him a happy birthday on July the 7th. He's going to be at the Baltimore Bash as well as many others, and so we wish you a happy birthday, Chris. And you take care, and please don't write to the Observer, please. I want to talk about the breakup of Missy Hyatt and Eddie Gilbert. It's sad to see this. I really don't know. I've heard a couple of things along the grapevine that Gilbert has too many pressures and on the job and everything, and things are really getting to him. And this is causing quite a bit of stress and quite a bit of, I don't know what you'd call it, but they're having some troubles. Hopefully they can work it out. I know the Jersey Devil has other things to say about this, but the Jersey Devil is requiring us to play two of his comments since we left him off the last tape. So why don't we go to his first comment right now?
Welcome to the Jersey Devil Show. First, I'd like to address a few issues. For your information, Mr. Mushmouth Vince De Palma, I do have controlling interest in cassette wrestling news. And if you want to keep your job, pal, you do well to keep in line, you wimp. And you, Evan, if I had a personality, I'd be Dangerous Ginsburg. How'd you like your newsletter taken over by the greatest wrestling commentator and the smartest business mind in America, the Jersey Devil? Let that be a warning to you, pal. By the way, I really loved your NWA comedy tape on issue number 33. I used it to tie my garbage bag. You nerd. And you, Mr. Bazooka Mouth, John Seaton, I have had it with you. Even with Jeff Osborne's attempts to keep you under control and tell you just how bad you're doing, you still continue to shoot your mouth off. Do you really believe that the number of subscribers would go down if I fired you from the show? You fool! For all you listeners who are wondering what happened to Seaton on issue number 33, well, I had Osborne suspend him, and the show was better for it. But I'll tell you what, Seaton, you've shot your mouth off for the final time. If you're so bad, then it's time for the Jersey Devil to put you out of commission for good. I challenge you to a Jersey Devil fire match to take place in the New Jersey swamps. Time and date to be determined. Of course, I know you're not man enough to accept this challenge, but even if you do, remember, the Jersey Devil has agents everywhere, and you'll be lucky if you ever even make it to New Jersey. Now, many of you may be wondering why the Jersey Devil was not on issue number 33. Well, your incompetent host, Jeff Osborne, forgot to include my show on the tape. But don't worry, I forgot to send him his paycheck that week. My final comments this week have to do with the first few weeks of Ole Anderson's tenure as booker for the NWA. I'm particularly concerned about the old war horses that he's bringing into the NWA. I have no problem with Paul Orndorff, but the Junkyard Dog with a major face push, no way, pal. The young wrestlers seem to have been forgotten, people like the Steiners and Pillman, in the shuffle, and that is truly a shame. By the way, have you noticed how the Steiners seem to look very down and tired lately? I wonder why. Rumor has it that Cactus Jack has left the NWA. Once again, another misused young talent moves on. I look forward to seeing a lot more of the great Stan Hansen and Big Van Vader. And also, I'd like to welcome the illustrious Johnny Stewart to the Cassette Wrestling News family. By the way, Mr. Stewart, forget about giving that Wade Keller geek an interview. The greatest wrestling commentator in the world is awaiting your call. Let a real man do a real interview with the great Johnny Stewart. Often imitated, never duplicated, this is the Jersey Devil from deep in the swamps of Jersey.
More like often constipated, soon eliminated by John Seaton. Jersey Devil, I've just about had it with you. I don't care if you do fire me. You cannot find another replacement on this show. And that's how it is, buddy. All right, I'm getting off this thing anyway. Anyway, I like to talk about the Steiners. There's a lot of confusion between them and Ole Anderson. That I really don't know what's going on with them. I don't see them getting the belts back anywhere in the near future, if at all. A couple reports on here that they may be going to McMahon land, so you have to wait and see about that. Had the opportunity to talk to Chris Cruz on June 10th, 1990. Let's go back to a piece of that right now.
Cruz? Chris?
Yeah.
This is Jeff from Cassette Wrestling News.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Good.
Oh, I understand you recently started with CNN. How's that going?
No, that's not the case.
I thought that's what was reported in the Observer there.
No, that was certainly under consideration by both parties, but right now, I guess the quote is negotiations are at a standstill, and I don't foresee anything moving them, but you never know. We're both kind of taking stock and seeing what we want from the deal.
Would you prefer a CNN job over a job in the wrestling industry?
No. Flat out, no.
So you would prefer wrestling, is it?
Very, very much so.
Have you had any offers from any wrestling organizations concerning an announcing position?
Well, I'm starting July 20th with LPWA, that's the Ladies Professional Wrestling Association, in Salisbury, Maryland. So I'll be doing their regional sports show, and Ken Resnick and and Sergeant Slaughter are going to move over to a syndicated sports show.
A lot of fans are curious about what exactly happened and what caused your departure from the NWA. A lot of people said it was because of a personal difference with Kevin Sullivan. Is there any truth to that? Or?
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to it, but basically, I guess it was in Greenwood, South Carolina, North Carolina, somewhere. I think Greenwood, South Carolina. And I had been on the road as the fill-in ring announcer for like the previous 3 weeks, and I was just deadly tired and just wanted to go home. The previous television taping in Gainesville, I had been with Terry Funk, and he just, for some reason, that I finally found out why, but he just didn't show up for this taping. I knew it was to be my last worldwide that Tony Schiavone was going to be taking over starting the following Monday. So they asked me to do the show with Kevin Sullivan, and I unfortunately, I said what I said to Kevin in front of his, I guess for lack of a better word, fiance or girlfriend and his daughter. And I said, look, Kevin, I just don't like you, and I'm not going to do my last worldwide with you. Kind of walked away. They eventually came back to me and said, look, you don't have to do it with Kevin, just do it. We'll find somebody else. But out of respect for the fact that Kevin is a wrestler, after all, that's what this business is all about, I said, no, just, Tony, you can just go ahead and do it. What I resent most is that some people think that I was unprofessional. I think that can go either way, but in broadcasting, just as in show business, and there's not too much difference between the two, the show must go on. Had Tony Schiavone not been there, I would have done the show with Kevin Sullivan. And that's what I really resent, people implying that I walked out on worldwide, and I didn't. And then I got back the next morning. At that point, Tony Schiavone, just to back up a bit, had called Jim Hurd, and Tony came into me, and this was the poor guy's first day on the job. He came into me and said, well, Hurd said you're through. And I said, well, okay, I understand. By that time, I was just so literally sick and very tired that I just wanted to go home to Maine, where I really like being. And went to Atlanta the next day to give Hurd my final expense account, and he asked me into his office along with Jim Barnett, and we sat and talked. I apologized to him personally because he had taken a great chance on me, and I think that it had worked out up to that point. And he said, well, look, just don't worry about it. A final decision hasn't been made. And he said, just go home, and we'll call you in a couple of days. He never called, and since then we have not been able to be in touch. So that was it.
Do you regret walking off the set? Or?
No, I have real personal and heartfelt strong opinions about Kevin Sullivan for many good reasons, and I share those good reasons with many of the wrestlers. And I didn't think that it wasn't so much Kevin Sullivan, although certainly that was a factor in it, but I was determined that I was very happy with the body of work that I had done with Terry Funk, and I just didn't want to go out on my last worldwide without him. I mean, in this business, believe it or not, there are such things as personal loyalty. I suffered for it, but I was traveling too much anyway, so, all of these things happen for a reason.
What did you like most about announcing for the NWA?
Money, prestige, fans, women, so many things to like. The travel, the people. I respect wrestlers immensely.
Well, as most of the fans know, there's a lot of politics, as you just discussed, in the NWA. And
welcome to the world of work. Welcome as well to the world of professional wrestling. A lot of politics, especially for somebody like me. I was always seen by Ric Flair and by Kevin Sullivan as a WWF spy. I mean, there were times, literally, when I was called by Flair and Sullivan a spy, which, I mean, is so ridiculous on the very face of it. But I was much more, as they knew, I was much more familiar with the WWF than the NWA. It was kind of foreign territory to me, but I respected the work rate in the NWA and still do.
Are there any hard feelings towards Flair or Hurd or any of the guys?
No, I respect Ric Flair immensely. I don't have any hard feelings, only good feelings for Jim Hurd. I was able to make a lot of money in a short period of time. As we talk now, I just got back this morning from Philadelphia, where I ring announced a show for Joel Goodhart, and then had the evening at a 5th anniversary party at which there were many wrestlers, and I was, of course, the only announcer, and I was treated like a major celebrity by these wonderful fans, signing autographs and everything. And then basically, I'm just I can be sophisticated, but basically, I'm just kind of a country boy from Maine, very simple, straightforward person, and to be signing autographs is a very gratifying thing. So, no, and I'm convinced that I will show up in the world of professional wrestling in the future. I've been talking to Sports Channel New York and Sports Channel New England about a 1-hour magazine show. I just spoke with Rob Russin about hosting the IWA show, now hosted by Lee Marshall. If indeed Lee should leave, I don't foresee that happening. But there's a lot of work out there. Not a lot of money, but a lot of work. I'm not so much interested in the money. I'm just back home finishing up my degree so that I can go to law school. This is a great love, and at some point there may be some money, but basically it's been the love of my life since I was 9 years old. Just this morning, I was sitting in the airport with Bruno Sammartino. We had breakfast at the Hilton, and went to the airport together. We both flew out on the same airline. Bruno has been a very good friend of mine, really almost a surrogate father to me for the past 5 or 6 years. He's just got his autobiography out, and we were going through it and talking about it. So I have so much to respect professional wrestling for. It's been great for me, great for my life.
How do you feel that Ole Anderson will do as Booker? As we've seen, he's brought in a lot of what some of the fans call the old timers. Do you think he's going to ignore the younger lions?
I'll tell you that I honestly don't know, because the NWA is so vastly different from the WWF in the way that they book, in the way that they approach marriages and angles and feuds. I honestly don't know. What I am disturbed about is the jumping of the gun. You all referred to that in the recent edition of Cassette Wrestling News. This applies to anybody. Ole and I always get along very well, but whether I agree with him or disagree with him, I think that the guy's got to be given at least, 3 months minimum, 6 months. Even American presidents have a honeymoon with Congress and the media, and I think that people are understating the fact that Ole at least is showing that he's in charge. I don't think you can overstate it by saying that he's proven that he's the best booker in the history of this business. He's made some big mistakes in the past. This is a new era. The question is, will he be able to adapt? My concern is that if he doesn't adapt well, and again, we don't know whether he will or not, that decision won't be made soon enough to axe him or to axe any other booker who doesn't work out. I'm just concerned that people are kept on in the National Wrestling Alliance for longer than they should be kept on. That includes staff, managers, wrestlers, everybody.
If you had some authority in the NWA, what wrestlers would you push, and would there be any changes you'd make?
Let me answer that question by not answering it and explain why. I never considered myself an expert on wrestling. In fact, Bruno and I were talking about this. Would I have had the sense to push Bruno Sammartino 20 years ago? Would I have chosen Ric Flair 10 years ago as the world's heavyweight champion? I don't know if I would or not. If I was a good announcer, it was only because I was a real fan, and that's I guess why I respect wrestlers and bookers especially immensely, because Ric Flair at the time, there must have been 5 or 6 other people who could have easily held that belt and been legitimately recognized by the fans as a true world's heavyweight champion. But the genius who chose Ric Flair has had a 10-year run of Flair as the champion or more. So all I can tell you is that I'm not good enough, I'm not sophisticated enough to make those pushing decisions, those booking decisions, nor would I want to if I had the power. There might be some changes that I would make in administration, in announcing, in TV scheduling or something, but they're so personal and private that I don't know that I'd feel comfortable talking about them.
Do you still converse with Terry Funk on a regular basis?
On a very regular basis, yes. In fact, he's going to be June 23rd. I'm not sure when the air date of the next Cassette Wrestling News is, but June 23rd, I've just been told he's going to be somewhere in New Jersey, and I'll be there with him. He'll be fighting Stan Hansen.
There's a chance that I may be talking to Terry Funk later on in the day. He's going to be on John Anthony's Pro Wrestling Spotlight.
That's right. I'm supposed to be on tonight, aren't I?
Are you really?
Yeah, 5 to 6. Oh, I forgot about that. I better be here. Yeah, Terry and I are going to be on tonight.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Chris. Thanks a lot for your time, and we really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right, me and Chris continued to talk after the interview. Just talked about certain things going on in the business, and he's not a man to hold back any of his thoughts. As me and my girlfriend discussed, that he won't wimp out of a question, and he's very straightforward and a tough guy when he'll tell it like it is. So you got to respect him for that. And he's going to be having a WWF tryout, or by the time you get this, he may have already had that. So anyway, we wish him luck in everything he does, and especially a happy birthday. All right, I want to give Bump a quick plug here. Pro Wrestling's Hottest Weekly is published weekly by TCWU Publishing. Editor Chris Pope, contributors Joe Held, Mick Karch, Ron Trelstad, and Ray Weeb. Help me on this, please. Ray Weeby Jr. U.S. and Canadian subscriptions info, 20 weeks for $23.95, 35 weeks for $36.95, and 52 weeks for $44.95. I tell you, I was pretty impressed with this. It's got about 4 or 5 pages in there, and it's worth checking out. And single copies are available for $1.50 each. And you can write to Bump, 6964 West 84th Street, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55438. Tell them you heard it here on Cassette Wrestling News. All right, want to welcome aboard Klon, a new listener down in Florida, and also George Schultz. And I'm also forgetting quite a few listeners out there, so please drop me a line to make sure that I do mention you on the air, because I know for a fact I'm leaving out a lot of people. So please get back with me on that. And anyway, I talked last time about a dream promotion, how to make a promotion work better. I got a few of my suggestions here that I don't know if it'd work or not, but the first thing would get some of the wrestlers' medical benefits. I think this would make the wrestlers work even harder and, give the fans what they want, and not take all the risk of being out of action and losing pay. So medical benefits would definitely be a plus. A work rate panel. Have 4 or 5 ex-wrestlers sit out at ringside and rate the wrestlers and possibly pay them in addition. Say they take a good bump or execute a move exceptionally well. I'd say pay these wrestlers a little bit more. So I have a work rate panel out there. And equal transportation. Transport the guys like in a big van or something. Take turns driving. That I know there's a lot of animosity among the wrestling industry. Some wrestlers really hate each other and they don't get along. So this wouldn't work for them. But get about 8 guys together traveling in a van, and save a lot of money. Also, split the responsibilities. You don't need all this excess, let's just call it excess fat, like a travel consultant, all this consultant stuff. Some of the wrestlers have been to college, 90% of them have, and they have background, whether it be in teaching or just about anything. So split the responsibilities of booking the location of the event and everything. Cut down on some of the employees, and I'll just split the responsibilities. Also, every night of the tour, have a battle royal, and give sort of a cash bonus there. And it speaks for itself. And the big thing to get rid of tons of politics in the wrestling industry is to have a mystery booker. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows where he lives or what role he plays, but he books the matches, and nobody ever sees him. And this would cut down on a lot of the politics and backstabbing, mudslinging in the wrestling industry. Think about it, a mystery booker, and that too speaks for itself. All right, those are a few of my suggestions, so send in your own. We'd be glad to play them. And also, don't forget the poetry contest. I think the Jersey Devil is standing by with his poem and his second commentary, so we're going to turn the tape over to the other side and check out the Jersey Devil again.
Hey, I want to talk about one of our sponsors, Bear. B-A-R-E, period. That's right. Their tagline is Eat Better, Live Better. And I'm speaking from experience here. That's right. The better things you put in your body, the better you feel. These guys are the best meal prep company in Northeast Arkansas because, well, they prep all my meals, and they don't put any of those artificial flavorings or seasonings in their food. It's just the bare ingredients. You see what I did there? Here's how it works. You choose the meals you want in your desired pickup location from their easy-to-use website. Your meals are ready Monday morning and available for pickup based on the hours of the location. They have 7 locations right here in Jonesboro, 2 in Paragould and 1 in Brooklyn. Go to bear870.com and place your order today. So here's what I want you to do. Get 15% off with our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. That's 15% off and use our code STSPodClub. Trust Bear for your meal prep needs in Northeast Arkansas. Eat better, live better. Bear. Are you enjoying the episode? Well, Cash App us. That's right, $BTSTS. You don't have Cash App? Download it and get $5. That's right, $5. That's $BTSTS, $BTSTS.
Attention candy connoisseurs, brace yourselves for a flavor explosion at Arizona Bay Candy, your go-to destination for the most unique and delicious freeze-dried treats. Dive into the extraordinary world of flavor at ArizonaBayCandy.com, where every bite is an adventure. Picture this, chili mango taffy that combines the sweetness of mango with a spicy kick of chili, a tropical fiesta for your taste buds that will leave you craving more. But that's not all. Indulge in the Dud Nuggets, bite-sized delights with a crunchy exterior and a melt-in-your-mouth center. It's a sweet and satisfying nugget experience like no other. Peanut butter and jelly taffy takes you on a nostalgic journey with the perfect blend of creamy peanut butter and sweet jelly. A classic combo reimagined in a chewy and delightful treat. Ready to elevate your snack game? Head over to ArizonaBayCandy.com and explore the full range of freeze-dried treats that will transport you to flavor paradise. Secure checkout and fast shipping make indulging in these unique delights just a click away. Arizona Bay Candy, where flavor meets fantasy. Unleash the taste adventure at ArizonaBayCandy.com. Treat yourself to freeze-dried perfection today.
Want a discount? Go to link of all links on our social media accounts and get 10% off all your orders. Pleasure seekers, get ready to elevate your intimate moments with the one and only Spunk Lube Pure Silicone, the go-to choice for a slick and sensational experience. Introducing the 8-ounce bottle of Spunk Lube Pure Silicone, available now at spunklube.com. It's not just lube, it's an invitation to a world of heightened pleasure and comfort. Picture this, silky smooth, long-lasting, and oh so sensual. Whether you're flying solo or exploring with a partner, Spunk Lube. Pure silicone is your passport to pleasure paradise. Let the passion flow as Spunk Lube Pure Silicone intensifies the connection, providing the slipperiest, most luxurious experience you've ever imagined. Go to spunklube.com today.
You folks know I like to take a minute to talk about my old buddy Sleazy E. Well, he's got a good show coming up Saturday, September the 28th at the Dedicated Visual Art Studio. That's right, North Little Rock, Arkansas. This is the first time that they brought the ring dedicated to wrestling. Sleazy Wrestling tickets is $10. Festival start at 4 p.m. Bell time for wrestling, well, it's 7 p.m. They have a live music. They have food. They have some tamales. It's going to be a fun time, guys. Make sure you bring your own chair. Sleazy will be there. Zay Washington, Buddy Badcock, Austin Rothschild, Cody Murdoch, Triple J, and many, many, many more. Tag team action, hardcore action, huge, huge card. Did I tell you delicious tamales for sale? Music, I said the show starts at 4. The music starts at 4. Be there. That's right, I said be there. September the 28th, Dedicated Visual Art Studio in North Little Rock, Arkansas. Love my mama. Love me some Sleazy.
Running CWN in my absence. That Hoosier loser from Goonville, Indiana, calls the Coastal Crush the best card of the year. Geekomania is running wild in Goonville, Indiana. Well, I'd like to apologize on behalf of Osborne for issue number 34, which included what seemed like 30 minutes of Evan Mr. Sleeping Pill Ginsburg. Hey pal, get a life. And new listener, Boyce, get a real name, Johansson. Gee, Boyce, what a roly good report, dude. Cowabunga. Well, due to the nature of some of John, my nose is stuck up Tommy Rich's butt Seaton's comments, I have asked my personal assistant, Amber, to edit any slanderous comments that could cause lawsuits. I commend Amber for her bravery in traveling to such a backward area as Goonville. Although I have no love for Torch editor Wade, gee, what a great haircut, Keller, I must recommend that you read his Cactus Jack interview in issue number 74 of the Torch. But then again, most of you can't read, so never mind. I'd also like to thank the illustrious Johnny Stewart for answering my request to do an interview with Jeff Osborne. Johnny, you did a great job, and you even made that geek Osborne look good. What a worker. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, not that I really care, Ole Anderson is a great interview, and the Horsemen are a great heel team. But Ole, don't carry the weight of the NWA on your shoulders alone. You've got great young talent to develop, along with the experienced veterans, just like a great sports team should be. Don't drive them out of the NWA, Ole, and don't turn Sid Vicious face. Such raw savagery should be developed properly. Now, I'd just like to comment on the rumors that I caused the split between Missy Hyatt and Eddie Gilbert. It's not true. Missy and I are just friends. Boy, I can't wait for a Best of Rocky King tape to hit the video stores. What a showman that Rocky King is. Can a move to the WWF be far behind? Maybe he can form a tag team with the Incredible Tugboat. Boy, wouldn't that be a thrill. With what appears to be a move by Ole and the NWA towards a more regional style promotion, I wonder what that means for the planned return by the NWA to the Meadowlands Arena in New Jersey this fall. All you geeks out there should write letters to the NWA to request this return date. Oh, never mind, that's right. Most of you can't write anyway. Finally, in response to Seaton and Osborne's request for poetry for CWN, as you know, the Jersey Devil is a master at many things, and one of them, the written word. And now, the Jersey Devil would like to give you his own poem. WWF, does anybody care? NWA, is anybody there? Tommy Rich, a perennial loser. Cactus Jack, a shaker and a mover. Evan Ginsberg, personality he has not. Jeff Osborne, wishes he had what I've got. Vince De Palma, sounds like he swallowed a bag of prunes. Boyce Johansson, cowabunga, dude. Chris Cruz, great to have you as a subscriber. John Seaton, you're fired. This is the Jersey Devil from deep in the swamps of Jersey.
From the sewers of Jersey, this is a listener. I'm kind of sick and tired of the Jersey Devil, who thinks he's running everything when the Cassette Wrestling News. I'll remain nameless, and I just got a few words for the Jersey Devil out there in the stinking swamps of New Jersey. I would rather listen to Toby Seaton any day. I'm who you make your money off of. And to be truthfully with you, Toby Seaton is a much better everything. Anything he does is probably better than what you can do. So, since I'm going to be the big mystery man here, I don't think you could say anything or do anything to me or Seaton, because you're no match for him. So that's just the way it goes, because I think he'll womp all over you.
There you hear a fan of John Toby Seaton. Well, I don't see why the Jersey Devil has to pick on everybody else. If he's just going after John, well, stay away from Boyce Johansson, stay away from Evan and Vince and everybody else, and just concentrate on John, because hopefully I'll get John on the show in a little bit. But anyway, I did, like I said, talk to the Snowman the other night, and he had a lot of interesting things to say about pro wrestling. Excuse me. He was the first man to ever kick out of Jake Roberts' DDT and pin Jake Roberts. Also, he holds defeats over Ted DiBiase, Steve Williams, and a lot of other people. And he had an interesting thing. I was there with Leon Spinks and the Snowman as Leon was being interviewed by a couple of local television stations, and as well as the Snowman. The Snowman said an interesting thing that I was not aware of, and that is a wrestler must first go through the boxing commission to get his wrestling license. So I never realized that, and I hope there's some truth to that, or it makes me look like an idiot. But anyway, that's what the Snowman said, and so you have to go through the boxing commission to be a wrestler. So that's something to think about. All right, I had the pleasure of talking to John Anthony of John Anthony's Pro Wrestling Spotlight the other night, and he's going to be giving away some free issues up there in Babylon, New York on his radio show of Cassette Wrestling News, so some of you out there may want to try for that. Also, as I mentioned last issue, John has a Best of the Pro Wrestling Spotlight 90-minute audio cassette for sale for $12, but if you mention it here, that you heard it here on Cassette Wrestling News, he'll give it to you for only $10. And he said I can play portions of the show, or of his show, on Cassette Wrestling News, so let's go to a little portion of that right now. This clip is an interview with Paulie Dangerously. A man by the name of Jim calls up the radio station from a phone booth, and this is because his mother will not let him. So Paulie Dangerously tells Jim to go home and get his mother on the phone, and Paulie wants to talk to her, and we're going to play you a little bit of this. Remember, this is a John Anthony's Best of Pro Wrestling Spotlight, so let's go to this right now.
Okay, let's see what we got here. 661-1440. Hello, you're on the air. Hello?
Yes?
Is this Jim's mom?
Yes, it is.
Jim, now, why won't you let Jim call up this radio station?
Well, I don't care for wrestling.
Why?
So? I think it's savage.
It's savage?
Yes.
What TV shows do you watch?
Anything else but wrestling.
Name one.
Name one?
Name one. Do you come from Long Island?
Yes, I do.
Well, then I'll speak slowly. Name one.
Name one? L.A. Law.
L.A. Law. Oh, good. So you like to watch defense attorneys protect rapes and murderers and people like that on the air and teach young children to grow up to be defense lawyers to defend rapists and murderers and arsonists and stuff like that, but you won't watch professional wrestling.
That's correct. Professional wrestling, it's fixed, and
I didn't know it was broken. Oh, I'm so funny. Go ahead.
And it's savage, and I think that some of these people that they have who are champions, children look up to, I think that they are disgraceful.
Disgraceful. A guy that comes on TV, works out every single morning, makes sure that he has a suntan, and tells kids to say their prayers, eat their vitamins, and go to school and do your homework and graduate college. That's disgraceful. But you watch L.A. Law with a bunch of people out in Hollywood doing cocaine and snorting things and putting things in their veins and defending rapists and murderers and arsonists on television, and you're telling me that's not disgraceful, right?
It's not as disgraceful as some of the champions you have up there.
Saying your prayers and eating your vitamins and graduating college is more disgraceful than defending arsonists and doing cocaine on the set of a television show, right?
How many of them do you get, champions, do you get up there saying to eat your vitamins and go to church?
Hulk Hogan is on national television 8 times a week telling everybody, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, believe in a big man upstairs, go to college and finish and get your education before you ever think of becoming a professional wrestler, and you're telling me that none of them do it? You don't watch it, that's how. You're passing judgment on something that you never watched before.
I have watched it. I think it's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace?
Yes.
It's a disgrace. I think your speech is a disgrace. I think you're a disgrace raising a kid, not letting him call up a radio station to be on the air in Long Island, to be a hero in his high school because he got his voice on the airwaves to express his opinion on something where its champions say your prayers, eat your vitamins, go to college, believe in a big man upstairs while you're sitting back watching some phony lawyer defending some arsonist or rapist or murderer on TV, goes up the air, snorts his schnoz full of cocaine, then goes picks up some floozy outside the studio and spreads AIDS all around Hollywood.
I think you better calm down before you have a coronary.
I don't need to have a coronary, sweetheart. If I wanted a coronary, I'd hang out with your kid. Anybody that comes home to a woman like you that professes to watch L.A. Law, which is a show about lawyers in Los Angeles, which is a rat-infested, poverty-stricken urban reality with pimps and drug dealers and mudslides and earthquakes, and the whole damn state is going right into the ocean. And
Very strong words from Paulie Dangerously. It gets better than that. There's another portion on there where Paulie Dangerously nearly gets John Anthony kicked off the airwaves for good. It is something to hear, definitely. Also, Teddy Long, Terry Funk, and a very exclusive interview with Rick Steamboat and Bruno Sammartino, whose views I stand by 100%. Bruno says that he wants to re-educate the wrestling fans on John Anthony's program to where they respect the wrestlers for what they do in the ring and not for how they look and how much muscle they have. This is what I'd like to do, respect the wrestler's work rate instead of his hair or his makeup or whatever, and that's how it goes. Anyway, the address for John Anthony's Best of Pro Wrestling Spotlight 90-minute tape is 136 North Carl Avenue, that's C-A-R-L-L Avenue, Suite 125, Babylon, New York, 11702. And the price of that is $12. But if you mention that you heard it on Cassette Wrestling News, it is only $10. It's highly suggested by me and John. We both loved it. All right, now let's go to Evan Ginsberg with a nostalgia look at superstar Billy Graham.
Hello, Cassette Wrestling News listeners. This is Evan Ginsberg with a nostalgia focus on the legendary superstar Billy Graham. Superstar Billy Graham was probably the most controversial wrestler of the 70s. Although he most often wrestled as a villain, he had a devoted legion of fans, and no one could deny his incredible showmanship and the great heat he drew in virtually every match. Graham captured the WWF title April 30, 1977 in Baltimore, Maryland from the then-champion Bruno Sammartino. He held the belt for 10 thrilling months before losing it to Bob Backlund in Madison Square Garden on February 20, 1978. In this 10-month period, the highlight of Graham's career, he faced many of the top wrestlers in the world, including Dusty Rhodes, Mil Mascaras, Bruno Sammartino, Ivan Putski, and countless others. He always managed to keep his belt in often classic confrontations. He also was the first WWF champ to extensively travel, and he defended his laurels in California, Florida, and throughout the world. Billy Graham engaged in a tremendous one-hour draw against NWA champ Harley Race in Florida's Orange Bowl, with both titles on the line. This proved to be a historic event, setting a trend for future champions to defend their respective belts in different areas. Wherever the superstar went, the crowds followed, and he was one of the greatest drawing cards in the history of wrestling. Before his title reign, Graham was a top contender in 3 major federations, and following his stint as WWF champ, he maintained number 1 challenger status in the WWF area before once again hitting the road. He returned to the Georgia and Florida ring wars in '79. He had once been Florida champion, having defeated Dusty Rhodes. But this time, he shocked Florida fans as he became a scientific wrestler, teaming with arch rival Rhodes. His stay in the Sunshine State was a short one, however, and he eventually settled in the CWA, a newer wrestling federation where he became their champion. Graham came to Texas in early '80, and this is where the story becomes startling. It was in Texas that Superstar first sported his new looks. He shaved his golden locks and put on several pounds. He grew a black beard and mustache, and he simply looked like a different person. He was still a main eventer and faced all the top grapplers in the area. But once again, his stay was a short one. He left the area, and except for a brief stint on TV's World's Strongest Man contest, he virtually disappeared off the face of the planet. A while later, Gorilla Monsoon, in a notorious article, wrote that Superstar Graham had died. This, of course, proved to be falsehood, as Graham later returned to the WWF, the NWA, and recently has had incredible physical problems as a result of steroid abuse and is now on the talk show and high school circuit in an anti-steroid campaign. Billy Graham is a legend in the wrestling world. There are very few men who compared in terms of color, charisma, the ability to draw incredible heat. Graham was in no way the wrestler that Ric Flair is, but in certain respects, there are few that will ever compare to Superstar Billy Graham. This has been Evan Ginsberg, editor of Wrestling Then and Now.
Hello again, wrestling fans. This is Vince with my wrestling commentary. I would like to comment about several things which Dave Meltzer has been doing which has bothered me. I would have written to him, but he seems to be ignoring my submissions lately. I suspect this is true because I am a part of Jeff Osborne's Cassette Wrestling News. Jeff has continuously asked Dave for submissions, but these pleas have fell on deaf ears. Perhaps Dave views us as a threat because he feels an audio cassette newsletter is dangerous to the Observer. Nothing could be further from the truth. The Observer is the WWF of wrestling newsletters and will be for some time to come. My problem with Dave is twofold. First, I did not take kindly to the 6/18/90 issue, which was filled with 9.5 pages of Japan news. While I like Japanese wrestling and enjoy reading about it in the Observer, I feel 9.5 pages is a bit much. Secondly, taking 2 issues off because it was a double issue was, I believe, grossly unfair. I feel the subscribers are being penalized for Dave's vacation in Japan. The other problem I have with Dave is his undue harshness concerning the matches themselves. He is often getting the information secondhand and doesn't really know how good or bad the show was except for secondhand knowledge. Case in point, the 5/11/90 WWF show at the Nassau Coliseum, a card I attended. I thought the show was pretty good. Dave, on his Sources report, gave every match except Demolition Heart Foundation either negative stars or only 1 star. I thought most of the matches deserved a better rating. There is nothing wrong with criticizing what you don't like, but if you're getting the knowledge secondhand, at least say so or identify your source. Don't make it sound like you are at every match you are reporting on. This is what Dave should begin doing. Wade Keller always identifies his sources in the Pro Wrestling Torch. Clash of Champions 11, Coastal Crush from Charleston, South Carolina on June 13th was a good show. A better show than Capital Combat. Why does it seem lately that the clashes are better than the pay-per-views? And isn't it amazing that as I'm taping this just over 2 weeks away from the July 7th Baltimore Bash, not one match has officially been announced? As Casey Stengel used to say, amazing, simply amazing. I don't like the way Sting was favoring that injured knee in the ring. Is he really ready for the Nature Boy? The only matches I really didn't like were Sid Vicious, Lex Luger, and JYD versus Flair. Why was the former match only 23 seconds? Was Luger still suffering from the staph infection? Was Vicious still suffering the effects of that punctured lung he sustained several months ago? And JYD Flair gave us the expected screwjob finish, Horseman run-in. Only this time, it was justified. This match was just a setup for the Flair-Sting screwjob, match at the Bash. All in all, this show gets my thumbs up. In closing, I'd like to give a solid thumbs up to Steve Beverly, editor of MatWatch. Steve is well-spoken, professional in every sense of the word, and MatWatch gets my solid approval as a top-notch, well-written newsletter. If you don't subscribe, you're missing a whole lot. Steve, you have my utmost respect. For Cassette Wrestling News, this is Vince saying goodbye, good wrestling, and don't forget to tell all your friends to subscribe to Cassette Wrestling News.
Always a pleasure to hear from Vince De Palma and, of course, Evan Ginsberg. Evan, I thought you died. I didn't get issue number 5 for a while, and several of the listeners out there were kind of worried about you. So thanks a lot, and thanks a lot to Vince De Palma. We got a poem entry here from Boyce Johansson. Remember him? He's the one who did the impression of John on the last issue and gave us a Rocky Mountain wrestling report. And as John promised when he first introduced this contest, you heard a while ago, the Jersey Devil has sent the lovely Amber to the Cassette Wrestling News studio. And, she is supposed to read the poems. So, Amber, read Boyce Johansson's poem here.
I'm not going to read that little punk's poem, Osborne. You read it yourself. Especially not someone that is against the Jersey Devil, the sex symbol of the 90s.
Well, that's your opinion. So far, you've kept your mouth shut during this whole program, and I ask you to do one little favor here and read this kid's poem, and you won't do it. Why the hell not?
Because he's a nerd.
Okay. Sorry about that, boys, but, let me read Boyce Johansson's letter first. Dear Jeff, to start this letter off, I wanted to ask you if you would ask John Seaton if he needs a manager during his dream match against the Jersey Devil. What?
That little twerp couldn't be any manager.
Okay, anyway, I know John can handle himself against that bum, but I am offering my assistance in case the Devil has any tricks up his sleeve. And Boyce goes on to say that his poem is sort of like a rap song, and I'm going to read it, whether you like it or not.
That just shows you he's a nerd right there if he made a rap song.
Well, here's Boyce Johansson's poem. Well, here's a little story I got to tell about two bad brothers you know so well. It started only about a year ago. Jeff Osborne and John Seaton host the show. They give match results, interviews, and more. You know, the kind of stuff they're not sold in stores. So if someone doesn't like CWN and says just say no, say I can't say no. I'm too busy saying yeah. That's Boyce Joy.
You just better give it up, Osborne. You suck.
Fine, Amber. You're totally biased. I respect the Jersey Devils commentary. You don't respect anybody. You worship this guy. It makes me sick. Give me a break. I'd want to mention another new listener by the name of David Williams. Under the instructions of the Jersey Devil, however, we have removed the audio tape wrestling matches. So if any of you have any objections to that, please let me know. Anyway, I wanted to say hello to David Williams and David Harper up in Rochester, New York, and welcome them aboard, or welcome back aboard for a resubscription or something like that. Anyway, hello. All right, I wanted to talk about Sid Vicious. I understand Sid's been having quite a bit of no-shows. I don't know what this is for, but he is talking with Titan. Don't let anybody tell you differently. And having a lot of disagreements with Ole Anderson, which is not good. As we've seen with Cactus Jack, you could be out of there in just a matter of days. Anyway, Sid Vicious would go over well in the WWF, but I still don't want to see him go anywhere except in the NWA, and that's basically how it goes. Speaking of David Harper, he dropped us a line here, and at the bottom it says the Jerry Lawler interview was great. Please have more interviews on future tapes. The interviews are one of the definite highlights. Also, the interplay between you and John Seaton is also great. John is hilarious. Keep up the good work. I've heard this from two people this week, and one being John Anthony, one being David Harper. And evidently John has got quite a few fans out there, and I don't care what anybody else thinks. I respect John. Even a Jersey Devil should respect John. But that's another story, dang it. It is about a week or so before the Great American Bash, and I still don't know the damn undercard. A big complaint of all the pay-per-views, and they need to straighten this crap out, because we already know a lot of the SummerSlam matches, and this is a definite down point of the NWA. All right. While I have time, I wanted to tell everyone that Cassette Wrestling News is not published on any set schedule. 6 issues are $12, 12 issues $30, and of course a sample issue is just $3. And you can send any questions, comments, or audio tapes to Cassette Wrestling News, Post Office Box 765, Boonville, Indiana 47601, or to get in contact with me, dial area code 812-867-7962. Next issue, we should have a Jeff Gaylord interview, and I am going to videotape this, and we'll say news about why I'm videotaping this in the near future. But I intended to have John on this show, but the Jersey Devil restricted this to show how mad John is. He was wrestling around the other night at his girlfriend's house with one of his girlfriend's friends. He belly-to-bellied her on the floor and broke her ankle in 2 places. Now, this is the truth. This is legitimate here, and that shows how mad John is.
That just goes to show you that John can only beat up on girls, not the Jersey Devil. Yeah, what a macho dude he is.
I don't know. I don't know. The Jersey Devil is probably as tough as a woman. I don't know about that. What?
At least he's not a loser like John Seaton.
All right, folks. Send us your tapes. Send us everything. Send us all the news results to Cassette Wrestling News. We'll be glad to play them on the air. hopefully next time a Jeff Gaylord interview for John Seaton and Amber. This is Jeff Osborne saying keep your shoulders off the mat and keep reaching for the ropes. Damn it.
Memphis Wrestling is on fire. Join us live. September 20th, Memphis Wrestling returns to New Albany, Mississippi for a huge fundraiser benefiting Ingomar Baseball, featuring the Dirty Bird Brawl. Next Saturday, September 21st, join us at Ghost River Brewing on Main Street for live Memphis Wrestling. All ages welcome. VIP saves $1 off beer all night. Next Monday, September 23rd, WWE Hall of Famer Rock and Roll Express Robert Gibson is coming to Memphis Wrestling. Meet Robert Gibson live at the Mid-South Fair at Landers Center. Saturday, October 5th is our next free watch party at Dave & Buster's. Watch WWE Bad Blood. With us, it's free. Sunday, October 6th is our annual Halloween Spooktacular featuring Danhausen, presented by Kapow Comics. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
Hey guys, I love my Quicksilver rewards card from Capital One, and here's what I want to do. I want to get you to get one. That's right, earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase every day. Plus, if you use my link, I'll get you $200 cash bonus. That's right. Cash bonus from me, BT, because I'm your friend. Capital One. Go to link of all links. Go to my link of all links at stspod.club, right hand corner, and get your Capital One Quicksilver rewards card right now, today. What is in your wallet? Make it Capital One.
This episode is sponsored by Vitality Chiropractic, your trusted partner in wellness right here in Jonesboro and Newport, Arkansas. At Vitality Chiropractic, we believe in the power of natural healing and the importance of a healthy spine for overall well-being. Life can be hectic, and stress can take a toll on our bodies. If you're experiencing back pain, headaches, or just feeling out of alignment, it's time to make a positive change. Step into Vitality Chiropractic, where our experienced and caring team of chiropractors is dedicated to helping you achieve optimal health. We specialize in personalized chiropractic care tailored to meet your unique needs. Call 870-523-2225 to make an appointment today.
This episode is also brought to you by Bear. Eat better, live better. These guys are the best meal prep company in Northeast Arkansas. So get 15% off with our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. That's 15% off. Use our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. Trust Bear for your meal prep needs in Northeast Arkansas. Eat better, live better. Bear. This episode is also brought to you by SpunkLube.com. Remember, when you're getting funky like a monkey, if you know what I mean, use Spunky. That's right. Go to www.spunklube.com and tell them STS Pod sent you. You want the best, you got the best. The best little wrestling podcast in the business. All episodes on www.stspod.club. Did you enjoy that episode? Cash App us at $BTSTS. If you've never downloaded the Cash App, download it today. You'll get a free $5 for using the code $BTSTS. That's $BTSTS. Hey, that was another great episode of Shooting the Shiznit. Thank you for listening, and thank you to all our sponsors. A big shout out to Bob McGee at Pro Wrestling's Between the Sheets. Remember, you can reach us on Twitter at Comic Book Mark BT, Instagram at BT Shooting the Shiznit. That's right, Shooting the Shiznit without a G. Facebook Shooting the Shiznit, and Facebook Cool Kids Wrestling and MMA Talk. If we don't like you in that group, first you have to ask to get in. If we don't like you, we'll kick you out. All of the episodes are at one place, and that's www.stspod.club. Podcast Roll Call. Who's Right Podcast. Homeboys Podcast. D3 Radio, my buddies Richard and Josh. My World with Conrad Thompson and my friend Jeff Darren. Lance's favorite include Nickology, Rock Solid, Playlist Wars, I'm Fat Podcast. Hey guys, remember, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.